Well, the one thing to say about this episode of Raw was it was definitely interesting. There was some good things on the show. There were some not so good things on the show. And oh man, that trick or treat fight was fucking awful. But we'll get into that later. I thought that Miz TV segment sucked with her. And the amount of video packages or backstage segments on this show tonight was absolutely ridiculous. Now, I haven't been watching Raw on a week to week basis, but now since I'm doing this, I will be doing it week to week. But I've been trying to keep up with it, so if there's something I don't know, don't get hot at me. I'm coming back to watching Raw full time. Raw has really been the only show out of the shows that I do cover, that I don't really that I keep up with the least. So there you have it. Raw kicked off with the Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio. They come out of the ring, and they weren't in the ring long enough before Sami Zayn comes out. And Sami Zayn cuts this really good promo talking about how he has dealt with people wanting power all his career. And he will not stop till every last breath before he takes out the judge. Now, this whole Judgment Day thing, I feel like a lot of people are getting, what's the word? Fed up with it. Because they used to be really great, and now I think most people think that it's starting to get old a little bit, and they need to do something different with the Judgment Day. And they are doing something with the Judgment Day because there's this whole who's the leader controversy thing on within the Judgment Day. And I think, hey, Judgment Day, they weren't really got nothing going on, so let's go that route. The whole leader thing, which is interesting because Priest has a contract. Ripley's the women's champion. Balor and Priest are also tag team champions, and Balor is, I feel like when most people look at the Judgment Day, they would either say that either Balor's the leader and Ripley, and I think most people would consider Balor the leader because when they turn on Edge to go to Finn Balor. So it's interesting. The whole maybe who's the leader, blah 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 is interesting to me, and I'm definitely want to see where it goes. I feel like they can lean into it a lot, especially with Priest having the contract, because if he wins championship, to me he's gonna be the leader because he has one of the two prestigious titles in the company. So who knows? We'll have to see where it goes. Sammy's basically said he's tired of the Judgment Day saying they have all the power. He's been dealing with people that want power all his life, and he will fight JD the Judgment Day until there is no more. Now it's interesting because McDonough is, I know it is so obvious that him and Finn Balor look a lot alike. I know they have history and Balor trained him, etc., etc. And they haven't really made him a full member yet, but he's been tagging along and he's been doing stuff with them. I feel like he's kind of like their young lion, because in New Japan they have young lions where they latch on to a roster member and they just stick by their side and do whatever. So I feel like JD McDonough is Finn Balor's young lion in this scenario. Rhea Ripley suggests that Sami Zayn fights Damian Priest tonight in the main event. Sami Zayn has no problem. And They look like they're about to jump Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's ready for the fight. And Sami Zayn comes out. I mean, not Sami Zayn. Ricochet comes out. Now, there's something so obviously wrong with Ricochet versus Dominic Mysterio. Because Ricochet and Sami Zayn fend off Judgment Day for his match against Dominic Mysterio. And Sami Zayn's nowhere to be found after. Ricochet is having his match with Dominic, and Sami Zayn's nowhere to be seen. Ricochet just comes out to help save this guy, and Sami Zayn's nowhere to be found during the match. And then you have Judgment Day doing their antics during the match between Dominic and Ricochet, and I'm just sitting there watching the match, like all this interference with the Judgment Day. I'm just like, what the fuck is Sami Zayn? Ricochet came out. I know he had a match with Dominic, but he came out to prevent Sami Zayn to get beaten up by the Judgment Day. And Sami Zayn's nowhere to be found. I just thought, like, wow, this guy Ricochet came out to help me, but doesn't need my help. While the rest of the Judgment Day at ringside, I'll just go to the back. I'll go prepare for my match later. What? I thought that was dumb. Stupid. Because they haven't really announced it yet. Or I'm not even sure if they're going to do it. But War Games is around the corner. And to me, it seemed like maybe Ricochet would be a part of Sami Zayn's team for a potential War Games match. But Sami didn't stay to help him out, so I guess not. I don't know what that was. It was very weird to me and awkward. It kind of makes Ricochet look stupid for coming out to help this guy. And then Sami not return the favor during the match. And it makes Ricochet even look more stupid because the Judgment Day interfere throughout the match. And they cost him the match. And another thing that looks stupid is when the ref went to go for the pin, the ref is literally right in front of the pin and does not see Dominic put his feet on the ropes. If any person ever was in that same position that the ref was in, they would have seen Dominic's legs on the rope. He just chose not to acknowledge it because that wasn't part of the finish. So I thought that was stupid. A lot of stupid stuff during this opening segment, but Sami's promo was really good. Next, we get a DIY video package because, they've been teasing DIY. Johnny Gargano's been off TV for whatever reason, and Tommaso's been looking for him, etc., and he found him, and here we are. We're going to try with the DIY thing, which I'm okay with. I like DIY, but this was like, when was the last time DIY was like a legitimate force within WWE? Back in their NXT days. That was a long time ago. So they're going to have to get people to invest and care about Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. They're going to have to do this all over again. And I thought this video package was really great. Just give the people a little reminder that they were a force in NXT. They were having all these good matches. But you're basically starting over. Gargano gets hardly any reaction whenever he's on TV. Honestly, Ciampa gets more of a reaction than Gargano does most of the time. So I hope this works because I really like them both, and they seriously need tag team. So I really hope this works. Speaking of tag teams, we get the Alpha Academy to come out. And they go to commercial. And then we come back to a Raquel Rodriguez hype promo for 5-way women's match at Crown Jewel. Then we get a Creed's Brother video package. They are a tag team from NXT. Now, I don't watch NXT. I barely even try to follow it. I've The only thing I can see is clips on Twitter. But I do know that they were part of Diamond Mine, right? That was the name of it. Diamond Mine with Roderick Strong and um somebody else. Because I think like two people got released from Diamond Mine, and it was just Roddy, Ivy Nile, and then the Creed brothers. And then we never saw Roddy again in AEW. So it's just Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers. Oh, the former Diamond Mine. But I will say this: I have seen them like a handful of times, if any, and they are really impressive. To be honest, because their size, their agility is insane. Now I know Cole said that one of them was a legitimately a wrestler at Duke, which is really cool. I like when actual wrestlers, colleges, etc., D1 wrestling translate to WWE because it makes it feel more legit to me. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, so they come out for their match against the Alpha Academy, and I'm gonna be honest, they had a killer match. It wasn't really long, but for the time they got, absolutely killed it. That finish that the Creed brothers do is insane. Yeah, he like the guy launches himself off the turnbuckle like a fucking cannonball because he has his hands on his knees, like you do a cannonball into a pool when you're a child. That's what he does, and he's a big fucking dude. So I thought their finish is great. They have an immense potential going forward in WWE. I really like them a lot. I'm interested to see what they do going forward. I don't think I've heard them talk before, and I don't think I've heard Ivy Nile talk either. So I don't really know who's the mouthpiece of this group, or do they need a mouthpiece? Not really sure, but they have a great look. They're really good in the ring so far from just one match. Crazy agility and an awesome finishing move. So very impressed with the Creed brothers. Then we get a recap of what happened last week with Cody and Damian Priest. Then we go backstage to Balor and Priest, and they get a trick or treaters from the new Judgment Day. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods dressed up as Dominic and Rhea Ripley for some odd reason. And Priest and Balor were just like, there's no candy. We don't have any candy. And so Woods and New Day were like, all right, well, we'll just go to the next house. But do they not know they're in an arena? There's no houses in arenas. Unless the arena is legitimately in the middle of a fucking neighborhood or some shit. I don't know. But they turn around and Ripley and Mysterio are there. And Woods flirts with Rhea for a quick second. And that was it for the New Day. Judgment Day argue about them not having leaders. Who's the leader? I'm the leader, blah, blah, blah. And then they all agree that there are no leaders. And yeah, basically just tying into the who's the leader fact I talked about earlier in the show. Very interested to see how that goes. The Miz comes out for Miz TV. Then we get a Nia Jax hype promo for Saturday. Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci come out for Miz TV instead of Gunther. They called Miz a clown. Miz calls Giovanni Vinci a third wheel and a sidekick. Miz makes fun of Giovanni Vinci speaking, which is a good point. Giovanni never talks. Ever. He hardly ever talks. Now, I do believe when Imperium was in NXT and they were called Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, that Giovanni did a lot more talking back then. But now he just doesn't talk. And they've been teasing dissension between Giovanni and Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther. Makes me seem like Gunther and Ludwig don't need Giovanni, which I think is dumb. I really like Giovanni and Ludwig Kaiser as a tag team. They're really great. So I don't know. I don't understand why they're breaking them up, because let's be honest. What are they gonna do with Giovanni if they do break up? Like I don't understand why break them up or tease to break them up, because I don't think anybody ever is gonna care about Giovanni Vinci. I'm not even like trying to be mean or anything like that. Really not. So I don't get it, because they've been doing it for a while. It's not like this happened in recent weeks or anything like that, but this has been going on for a little bit. So I don't know. Gunther comes out, makes fun of the Miz, says he's a great entertainer, but not a great wrestler. Says the ring is sacred to him and the Intercontinental Championship. And then Miz brought up how he worked his ass off in the past to make the Intercontinental Championship the most prestigious championship in WWE. And I'm be honest, I'm not even the biggest Miz guy, but I can acknowledge that when he did have that IC championship, he did really try to make it prestigious. You know, with few, especially, I mean, one feud comes to mind. Him and Dolph Ziggler. You look at what they did together in 2016. That Intercontinental Championship was fantastic stuff. And I don't want to be that guy, but I felt like in that feud specifically, Dolph held up his end of the bargain better than Miz did. But the Miz did do a good job. Then we get Ludwig Kaiser. He's messing up the sets. The Miz TV set. Knocks over a pumpkin sign. And then the Miz jumps Ludwig Kaiser. And then Gunther leans out the Miz. And he's staring at the Miz. Gunther turns his back on the Miz. And then Miz tries to jump Gunther. But Giovanni and Ludwig jump on him. And just leaves the Miz as he goes out of the ring and just walks away. And it's interesting because there was rumors going around that the Miz is supposed to be a babyface going forward and be doing something with DIY. Well, as interesting as that is, as the Miz was leaving, DIY comes out for their match against Giovanni and Ludwig Kaiser. I just want to talk about that rumor for just a second here. The Miz, to me, I've never liked him as a babyface, ever. He is best suited as a heel. There are just some wrestlers who should just always be heels, and there are some wrestlers who should just always be babyfaces. The Miz should always be a heel. And here's why. The last time I can remember the Miz was a babyface is when his feud with Bray Wyatt. Bray was doing all this, and God rest his soul, Bray was doing all this weird, sadistic things with Miz's family and Maurice and his kids. And then when it came down for their match at TLC, the Miz came out like the normal Miz. His entrance, normal. Doing his showboating, and he was smiling down to the ring. He just did his pose in the ring, and I'm just sitting there just like, man, if that sadistic, weird, creepy son bitch was messing with my family, my kids at my house, I'm gonna come to that ring pissed off. I'm gonna be foaming at the mouth to get my hands on this guy, but the Miz just came out like it's like another match. Can't do that as a babyface. It's stupid. But yeah, the Miz should always be a heel. I don't the Miz has history with Ciampa, so I don't know if that has to do anything to do with it. But I guess we shall see. Just gotta wait for it to play out. So we get DIY versus Giovanni Vinci and Luke Kaiser. And I thought they had a good TV match for a Monday Night Raw episode. Is DIY over? It doesn't completely bury Giovanni and Ludwig Kaiser, although they do, because Giovanni got pinned, and they lean into the aspect of Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther taking out Giovanni Vinci eventually, because Giovanni keeps failing Imperium. So we'll have to see how that goes. Next, we got a really, in my opinion, a really good backstage segment with Nakamura. This promo, teasing that he wants somebody to step up to him and call him out. Basically, he leaned into an open challenge to anybody. And boy, oh boy. I don't believe this aired, but I did see it on Twitter. Nakamura cut this great promo. Great, intense promo. He has such a vibe to him. He wants somebody to call him out. Who, of all people, calls him out during a Raw exclusive Twitter post? Akira Tozawa. If you're just going to do a video package like that and then just have the challenger be Akira Tozawa, why even do it? Just why? Why even do it? Why have Nakamura have that good promo vignette to tease like somebody major is gonna open it, accept his challenge or whatever, if we're just to be just Akira Tozawa? Like, why even do the Nakamura thing? Why? I thought that the promo was great, but the follow through was just dumb, stupid. This could have been like an NXT call up or somebody who's on the roster that people know are good, but it just ends up being Akira Tozawa. Whatever. We get a Candice LeRae video package followed up by a Xia Li video package before their match. We get Candice LeRae versus Xia Li. Candice got a decent reaction. But then again, like I said, I haven't really been following Raw like that up now. I don't really know if Candice has been getting reactions or not or whatever, but she got a decent reaction here. But this match was not good at all. They go the route of Xia Li beating the shit out of her, and Candice is like knocked out, and she doesn't know where she is. So the ref calls for the bell, and we get a ref stoppage. Xia Li and Candice LeRae. Whatever. Now I understand they're trying to build up Xia Li as a badass, and I feel like there's just other ways to do this. Because if you're just gonna do this match and end it with a ref stoppage in like 2 minutes, why even do a Candice LeRae package? Why do have a package to build her up or hype her up to the audience? And if you're just gonna knock her out and do a ref stoppage in 2 minutes of a match with Xia Li, why even build her up before a match? They aired these vignettes right before their match, and she gets knocked out in 2 minutes, and we get a ref stop. I don't get it. Now, if you would have just done the Xia Li package or whatever, just did her package and then she did this, I thought it would have been better. But you do a package to build up someone, and then you just immediately do something like this on a follow up, I think that's dumb. I really do. I don't get it. And if they would have just did a package with Xia Li, and then you have a local competitor, jobber, or whatever, and just replace Candice LeRae with a local competitor, that would have been better for Xia Li. Instead, this makes Candice LeRae look stupid. I don't come out of this going, "Oh man, Xia Li's a badass." I come out like, "Man, Candice LeRae looks stupid." But that's just me. We go backstage. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso meet up backstage. Jey Uso says he wants him and Cody to get another shot at the tag titles. And I answer you, Jay. Why? Why does Cody? Why were they even a tag team? Okay, they both have same goals and beef for the Judgment Day, but they need to become a tag team. I don't get it. I didn't like the switch at Fastlane either. Thought that was stupid. And I said this on one of my New Japan shows I just did. I believe is the Las Vegas one. My review for that. There's one thing. There's a lot of things I hate in pro wrestling. Makeshift tag teams is one of them. I don't get it. It works sometimes, like Sheamus and Cesaro, but like 95% of the time, it just doesn't work. I hate it. I hate makeshift tag teams. I really do. People within sub like factions, they get a pass because they are a group unit. But Cody and Jey Uso as a tag team, being tag team champions, so disrespectful to all the other tag teams on the roster. And then they literally switched the belts like the night after. So I'm just like, what the fuck? What are we doing? What are we doing here? I if you're just gonna put the titles back on Priest and Balor that fast, why even change the titles? For what? Just to get a crowd pop for a title change? This has done nothing to advance the story between Cody and Jay and the Judgment Day, because Cody's focus is on Priest. Jay's focus is just on all of them. So I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand why they need to go to get another shot at the tag titles. They haven't have they even teamed up since they lost the titles? I'm not sure. But it just doesn't make sense. Why? Why give them another shot? For what? For what? We just saw two tag team matches with two legitimate tag teams. Alpha Academy, the debuting Creed Brothers, DIY, and Ludwig Kaiser. Those four teams right there are all really good tag teams. Alpha Academy is over. Now I understand they're probably gonna do Gunther and Gable again soon, and then hopefully give Gable the title. So maybe not Alpha Academy, and I understand DIY just came back and they had their first match. I get it. And Imperium is really good, yet they lose a lot, but they are a really good tag team. And then the Creed Brothers are new. I get it. But you also have teams like New Day. Yeah. And I know Eric is injured, right? Of the War Raiders. Point is, there's other tag teams on the roster who could use a push instead of just makeshift tag team. I hate that. I really do. Anyways, we get a Shayna Baszler video package hyping her up for the 5-way Saudi Arabia this weekend. I mean, I just think Shayna Baszler is just a lost cause at this point, which sucks because she was fucking great in NXT. and she even had a few bright spots on the main roster, but it's bad when you have to get the most hated women all of the WWE, Ronda Rousey, to put Shayna Baszler over just to give her a crowd reaction. It's fucking. It sucks because she's good. Shayna Baszler was the shit back in the day, but I feel like she's a lost cause. Anyways, but I did like the video package. I really did. Next, we got a really, really fantastic video package on Drew McIntyre. Basically just discussing that Drew wasn't really doing nothing. He was supposed to be the chosen one, and he got released, and then he worked his ass off and to become the WWE champion, but it happened in the pandemic, so it really didn't um sucked for him because he didn't win in front of fans, and I get that. Oh, I really do. I get it. I get it. You want to win. You want to because this was his first WWE championship, and he won it during the sucks. I get it, really do, and Drew hasn't. I mean, Drew hasn't really done anything notable in like forever. I'm trying to think, what was his match at WrestleMania? It was against Gunther and Sheamus. Now, his stuff with Sheamus was great. I really liked the stuff he did with Sheamus. But other than that, I can't really think of anything like Drew McIntyre wise. I don't know. I feel bad for the guy because, and I have liked the stuff he's been doing recently with Rollins, but I just feel like there's something missing. I do. I don't feel like this is a championship worth feud. I just feel like there's something missing. Anyways, Seth Rollins comes out for his match with JD McDonough, but he gets on the mic first, cuts a promo. McIntyre saying Drew McIntyre is a crybaby. Says there was others who were in less fortunate scenarios during the pandemic than Drew. And goes boohoo, cry me a river. For all the people saying that's a CM Punk reference, stop it. They're literally just taking words and sentences that people have been saying on WWE shows lately and just saying, "Oh, CM Punk once said this, so that means he's coming, right?" Stop. If Punk comes, he comes, but stop trying to make or have all these tie-ins and innuendos and stuff like that. It's it's honestly like annoying. Anyways, so yeah, Rollins is basically just calling Drew a crybaby, etc., saying get over, stop blaming the bloodline and the Judgment Day for your failures, and do something about it. Which, in a sense, he is kind of right. A lot of the stuff Drew had dealt with the bloodline in particular, not so much the Judgment Day, but the bloodline in particular. He does have a point. The bloodline did fuck him over a lot. Bloodline fucked over Kevin Owens a lot, and I get it. But Rollins is right. A lot of people have been fucked over by the bloodline and the Judgment Day. You just gotta move on from it. Makes sense to me. But as Rollins is talking, JD McDonough comes out and attacks him from behind to jumpstart their match. They have a pretty decent, solid match for what it was. But Priest comes out later in the match, distract Rollins, but it doesn't work. Rollins beats McDonough. Priest keeps teasing that briefcase every chance he gets. But Rollins does not seem phased at all, not one bit. I don't think Rollins has ever been phased by Priest trying to cash in on him. Ever. Next, we had Adam Pearce and Ricochet backstage. He tells Ricochet that he wants to give him an IC title opportunity, but Ricochet also says something to do. Gets his hands Dominic Mysterio. Pierce gets interrupted by Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, but Chelsea gets scared off by Valhalla and Ivar. And Valhalla simply just says, "We'll meet at your office." So apparently, as was revealed later, there's going to be a four-way next week between Ricochet, Bronson Reed, The Miz, and Ivar for winner. It's an IC title match. So I'm just going to say this now. I hate when wrestling companies do a segment between a champion and somebody that clearly sets them up. And then that person is plugged into a number one contenders match. Four-way, whatever. And it's like, okay, so why did they just do this segment where this champion and challenger already have a segment to set up a feud and then put them in a match for number one contenders when we just know that that person is going to win because they set them up already. Just to name an example, Samoa Joe. They did that promo with MJF on Dynamite. Them two back and forth. And Joe says, "I'm going to win this tournament so I can get my hands on you, blah, blah, blah." And then they do this whole tournament just for Samoa Joe to win. Like, why even do the tournament if you already set up the feud? So I hate stuff like this. I really do, because we all know The Miz is going to win next week. Now, unless The Miz doesn't win next week, then why even do the feud with Miz and Gunther? It's a lose-lose situation, honestly. It really is. Because if Miz wins next week, it's like, okay, why even do the match when you did the feud already or started the feud? And if he doesn't win, then why did you start the feud already? Like, because now it's going to be the Miz and Gunther, and then whoever in either Ricochet or Bronson or Ivar. It's a lose-lose in my opinion. So thought that was dumb. Oh, do I even want to talk about this? Do I even want to? Next up, we had Natalia, Chelsea Green, a trick or street fight. Natalia comes out for a match. She's dressed like a sexy cat. But before that match starts, we have a backstage segment with Becky Lynch. She praises Lyra Valkyra, took her title off of her last week. See Halloween Havoc. So she defended that title more times than Roman and Rhea Ripley, and Xia Li comes in and says she wants to fight, but she'll do it on her time. So apparently this has been going on for like 3 weeks now, according to Becky Lynch. And look, Xia Li has been on the roster for a long time, and it's been start and go, start and go, start. So I don't know. Hopefully this leads to something, and then if she beats Becky or Becky beats her, sees Xia Li for months or whatever, back and then something else. So I hope this does something for Xia Li, because Becky really doesn't need much. She doesn't need a championship, or she's just there. So hopefully this does something for Xia here. Now we get to it. Chelsea comes out for a match with Natalia because she's already in the ring and she had to sit through a segment with Lynch. Trick or street fight between Chelsea and Natalia. Good God, I wish these Halloween Christmas gimmick matches, street fights, whatever, die. because they are the drizzling shits. This was awful. Now, I said this on the Collision review that I thought Sheeta and Abaddon had probably one of the better Halloween gimmicked matches in recent years. But it still wasn't good, but I thought it was better than most that we've seen over the years. But this one might be the worst one. This shit was so bad. Chelsea immediately starts by pieing Natalia in the face. And then she starts throwing candy in the ring. And then she starts messing with the pumpkins, and then Nikki Cross is just, why is Nikki Cross there? Why is Nikki Cross under a table with her head underneath a pumpkin? For why? Because she's crazy? Like why? Why is that there? Why? That was stupid. Chelsea tries to put Natalia through a table, but Natalia rolls out the way, and Chelsea just goes to the table. And then Chelsea pies Piper off the apron, and then Chelsea hits Natalia with an unprettier, and she wins. Now, I understand it's Halloween, and they do these matches, you know, every time, but it's just like, it's so bad. I feel like there's better ways to do a match like, and then like when Chelsea picked up the pumpkin, and it was Nikki Cross, and then she put the pumpkin on her head. Like she didn't even like try to like make it like she just put the pumpkin on her head. She didn't try to accidentally put the pumpkin on her. Like she legitimately just like put the pumpkin on her. And then she like the ring post thing. She tried to like bump her head on the ring post. It was so bad. I'm a big fan of Chelsea Green. Great, super talented. She can talk. Get in the ring. You know, I've been watching her all the way back since her Impact days. She is so much better than whatever the fuck this was. So, anyways, man, good God. Then finally, the last of the video packages. Get a Rhea Ripley video package. Saturday. Then we get Damian Priest, Sami Zayn for the main event. This shit was ass. They barely go like what 7 minutes, and then we get DQ. Got all this interference between the Judgment Day and Jey Uso. Uso super kicks Priest for a DQ, and then everybody just starts beating up everybody, and then we get a heroic save by Cody Rhodes. Fights off the Judgment Day, gives JD McDonough 2 crossroads on the tables on the announce desk because the crowd was chanting one more time. So you got to give people what they want. Cody says he's coming for everybody in the Judgment Day, starting with Priest on Crown Jewel this Saturday. That was Raw. Like I said, there were some good things, like the Creed brothers. The Rollins promo on Drew was good. Drew's video package was good. Gargano, the DIY match to get them over, that was good. And then you just have some bad, which I don't even need to get to. I think you guys figured out what the bad was. But let's take a second to go over the Crown Jewel card for this Saturday. So far, they've announced Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler. Zoe Stark versus Rodriguez. 5-way women's match world title. Roman Reigns versus LA Knight for the WWE Universal Championship. Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul for the United States Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest. I guess his bragging rights, I guess. This whole Cody and Sammy and Jey Uso and now Ricochet apparently. Judgment Day feud. John Cena versus Solo Sikoa. Io Sky defending her WWE Women's Championship. Belair. That is Crown Jewel so far. Now on here it says Sami Zayn and JD McDonough's show. So there are 7 main card matches. Show match. Crown Jewels. I'm gonna wrap it up there. Pretty 50-50 off for me. Review. Catch up on Super Junior Night 7, which is going on right now. I will see you guys for that review.